Happy New everyone. I am so excited about everything that the film industry has in store for us in 2023. But before I go see my first movie of the year, which is scheduled for tomorrow, we love a good AMC theater, I have to tell you what my top 10 movies are of 2022. Now, it took me a while to compile this list because we had some gems this year, but I got my notes because I will put my top 10 up against anybody's top 10 movies of 2022, okay? So go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and let's get to it. All right, coming in at number 10 in the top 10 movies seen in theaters of 2022 is The Menu, okay? Let me tell you, I really enjoyed this movie. First of all, the chef's artistry was spectacular, okay? Talk about a storyteller. I mean, from the first course to the last course, it was great. Everything was beautifully done, and I really loved that concept that no matter how hard you work, no matter how creative you are, how much of an artist you are, how much effort you put into something, I mean, with every fiber of your being, especially when you get to like that top level status, people will not appreciate what you have produced for them. They only want to be able to say that they experienced it and other people didn't. I mean, there's one scene in the movie that is really like the overarching theme for everything that's going on. When he said, "How many times have you come to my restaurant? Tell me what you had the last time you came." Like, how can you pay for such an exclusive experience, okay? Exclusive experience and not be able to recall every time that you've had it? You go through all that you go through to be able to experience it and you don't remember? You just wanted to be able to say, "I got an invite, I was there and you were not." Ugh, how frustrating that is to an artist. How frustrating that is to put your entire life into something only for people to want to rub it in other people's faces that they got to experience it. That's not what I did it for. That entire execution was great. I mean, I would rather go back to flipping burgers because it brought me joy, because I love to cook, than to continue to create for these privileged, elitist people who don't even appreciate me. Movie was excellent. I loved how it ended. I loved how it began. I loved every single course. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, okay? All right. Now, coming in at number 9, indisputably, Elvis, okay? Austin Butler did his thing in this movie, okay? Hear me clear. Did his thing, okay? The dedication that it took to be able to execute the role the way that he did, I felt every hour he spent watching videos, every conversation that he had to really get the true essence of Elvis. I appreciate that. I got it in that film. Everything that I've ever heard about Elvis, everything my grandparents have told me, I felt like I got to see that. I felt like I experienced the Elvis that my grandparents knew, and that brought me joy. I loved how the story was told. I loved the creativity. I loved the colors. I loved all of the acting, loved the plot. I loved how the narrator told the story from the perspective of trying to almost exonerate himself from the rumors, but actually really incriminated himself in all that he did. I really enjoyed that viewpoint. It was just an excellent way to tell such a biography in a way. I really enjoyed it. Number 8. Number 8. Don't Worry, Darling. The movie was great, but I am still mind blown at the audacity and the selfishness displayed by one of the main characters. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? That in itself was executed wonderfully. I mean, how dare you? How dare you? That was great. I loved how they executed it. I loved how we got to see someone's idea of a project actually executed with such precision, regardless of the audacity that it showed to even make it happen, to even sign up for something like that. I felt like the dream was dreaming, okay? They made it work. It was the plan, all the things that go into making something so grand. They did it. They did their thing with that. And I believe, that it was really amazing how they tied in that aspect of life where the things that we experience, you can feel so lonely, so hopeless, depression, anxiety, the weight of loss and grief, and how massive that is and the toll it can take on you, that you would even be willing to participate in something of this magnitude just to be able to escape the pain. That is a very real thing. And I think that they executed that beautifully in this film. But the audacity, I mean, if I haven't already said it, how dare you? Okay. It makes you wonder, would you be willing to have the perfect life involuntarily, or have a life full of hardships that keeps you up at night, that's full of fatigue, just to be able to say you had a choice? I don't know. Don't worry, darling. Definitely in my top 10. Coming in at number 7 is none other than Amsterdam. Of course, that's in my top 10. Christian Bale, John David Washington, Margot Robbie, Zoe Saldana, Robert De Niro. I mean, do I need to say anybody else? I mean, the film was full of people. You had Taylor Swift, you had Chris Rock, you had Anya Taylor. I mean, everybody was in this film and everybody played their part. It was so good. It was a great mystery comedy. I loved every bit of it. And might I say, for the record, I love Margot Robbie in movies, okay? I don't want to see Margot Robbie being like a normal character where she's like somebody's mom who has to take their child to cello practice or lacrosse practice, and she's calm, cool, and collected, and she loves her husband. No. I want chaos. I want drama. I want split personalities. I want 1 tier, 2 tier. I want it all. I want every bit of whatever she's going to bring to the table. Because one thing Margot Robbie is going to do every single time is deliver. Okay? Absolutely in my top 10. Absolutely. Now, number 6. Did not get the credit it deserved. Did not get the conversations it deserved. Many people are going to try to argue me and why it's in my top 10, but I stand by it because it was a great film, and that is 3,000 Years of Longing, okay? Absolutely. The movie was great. The imagery was beautiful. The storytelling, phenomenal. The movie is called 3,000 Years of Longing. That is exactly what you felt throughout the entire movie. I mean, it gets to a point where you're sitting there like, can he hurry up and tell the story? But then you're like, wait, that's the whole point of the movie. It's 3,000 years of I endured 3,000 years of life experiences, and I'm telling you about them, and you're going to get every single year. And I felt like I did. It was a very long, drawn-out story, but it is only attributable to the fact that it's supposed to represent 3,000 long years. Beautiful. I loved every bit of it. I loved the concept of showing us a different, spin on a genie. The most we've ever seen about a genie is what, the Shazam movie with Shaq or Aladdin, right? I love that we got to see the ebbs and flows of the genie. I love that we got to see the hardships that the genie experienced, the feelings that the genie experienced. I loved how the main character, her whole mindset was the admiration for the genie, understanding love, if you would say. And I really, really, really enjoyed the concept that people hide their deepest desires when they've arrived at a point in life where they don't think that they're obtainable. So in effort to protect myself from the rejection that I would feel from my own desires, I'm going to pretend like I don't have them at all. And I felt like that was wonderfully displayed in the movie. And it really showed people themselves. It shows the things you think you're only lying to yourself, because you weren't lying to the genie. You're only lying to you, and it hurts you because you stop at some point in your life from trying to obtain the things that you really desire, that you really want, that are obtainable, but you've had some bumps along the way, you've experienced some rejection along the way, and rejection doesn't feel good. So you do things to protect yourself, you self-sabotage, you do all of these things, you do solitude, you stay away from people because you never want to feel that pain again. But here now, you have the opportunity to have the very thing that you want. Are you going to squander it, or are you going to take advantage? I felt like the movie was great. Coming in at number 5 is The Black Phone. I did not expect myself to like this movie as much as I did, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I like horror movies that have some form of mystery, where somebody needs to be saved. Like I need somebody to have died in this house, and you're going to tell my story, or you're going to be haunted for as long as you live here until the next person comes, and we just keep doing this cycle until my story is told. Like, that's the kind of movies that I like if it's going to be horror, okay? And I loved how The Black Phone, they did some good foreshadowing, okay? Even how the movie opens up and it establishes how they've learned how to be quiet. Because there's a scene that comes in the middle of the movie where being quiet is so essential. And if you did not already have that skill, their ability to do what they did would seem unrealistic. But they've already set that up for you so that you can believe it. And you're literally holding your breath. You're literally sitting on the edge of your seat. And they take a common thing that you experience in horror movies like that, and they tweak it just a little bit so that what you expect to happen doesn't happen, but what does happen blows your mind just as much. I thought that was great. I also really enjoyed how they merged the supernatural with horror. I think that it can be very horrifying to experience the things that you experience from a supernatural perspective. And I loved how they were able to tie that in. And it also begins the conversation surrounding the bridge that comes with mental health and faith or supernatural experiences. Because you have the mother who was experiencing the same thing that the daughter was experiencing, but she was sent away. She's gone forever. And now we have the daughter who's afraid of the gifts that she has inside of her because of a lack of knowledge and understanding that professionals like doctors or scientists had of it. I think it definitely begins the conversation on a larger scale that we've kind of been avoiding for a long time. It's finally breaking down the wall that faith and emotional health or mental health and spirituality are mutually exclusive, and they're not. And I really loved how they did that. I loved how they told the story, of the victims that preceded the current captive. It was just a great overall film. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Very well done. All right. Coming in at number 4 is none other than Jonathan Majors. I know that movie is called Devotion, but the devotion that Jonathan Majors put into this film, out of this world. The way he maneuvered every single muscle, structure, bone in his face to convey every bit of emotion that he felt concerning the topic discussed in that scene over his entire lifetime in that one moment was superb. I can't even explain. I can't even do that with my face. I don't even know how you do that. And I feel like he executed every single scene beautifully. The way he was able to communicate the challenge of being a Black man in America, especially in that time, was wonderful. That fine line where rebellion meets oppression, it was just beautiful. It was great. How do you effectively communicate to someone the hardships, the disparities that you experience as a human being that they will never understand, regardless of rules, regardless of regulation, regardless of obedience? But this is my life. This is what I'm going through. This, no matter what you do, it'll never be what I do. That was just wonderful. It was wonderful, 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 wonderful. Of course, I cried. I mean, real bad. Both times I saw it. It was just an overall great film. I felt like the ability of Glenn Powell to, first of all, I think Glenn Powell does really good in movies where there is injustice going on, and he's the person who kind of just follows right from wrong, but then really gets to understand how injustice is not just black and white, but that there's a gray area that African Americans experience. He was like that in Hidden Figures. I just feel like Glenn Powell really does those roles well, and he really makes an effort to try to understand the Black experiences when he's in film, and I really enjoyed that. A lot of people don't really execute those roles well, and I feel like those roles are made for Glenn Powell. The scene where the main character, let's just stick to Glenn Powell. When Glenn Powell cries, every single time he cries in that movie, I felt that in my core, okay? Excellent display by Glenn Powell. Jonathan Majors, excellent. Overall, amazing film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it like right now. Like push pause, go watch it, and then come back, okay? The movie is amazing. Okay, y'all, this is where it starts getting tricky, okay? We're at the top 3. I wrestled long and hard about this, especially putting this movie in my top 10 at all, just because I believe that they deserve to be in a class of their own, is none other than my number 3, Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness. Great movie, okay? It should have been named after Wanda, but we're not going to get into that. And I still today stand by my statement that WandaVision is the best of the series that we've received so far. And that is me being reasonable. If you know, you know. Okay? This film was great. I really enjoyed Doctor Strange kind of coming into his own and honing his powers and being so well knowledgeable in them that they're like second nature for him. I really, really enjoyed seeing that. And the ponytail was a nice touch, okay? Little America, she did great. I loved how she was kind of learning who she was and trying to figure out how to work her powers. That was really, really, really good. Now, on to my girl, Wanda. Because yes, okay? She killed this role. And quite literally, I mean a big emphasis on kill. How do you introduce some of our favorite people? I mean, a movie theater going crazy. Everybody screaming. And just like that, everybody starts dropping like flies. I mean, she showed no mercy. And I loved every single second of it. It was great. When she said up there, he said, I thought you were going to be reasonable. This is me being reasonable. Because what part of this don't you understand? I mean, Wanda as the villain was great. I loved it. I mean, every single person she killed, her running through the halls, I mean, just a t-shirt and some jeans, just snap, like the movie was great, okay? Movie was great. Movie was great. Movie was great. It deserves to be in my number 3. It was great. Coming in at number 2 is none other than Woman King, okay? It was a great film. You cannot say that. It was not. You can't say that. You can't say you love film. You can't say you watch movies. You can't even have seen the movie and said it wasn't good. It was amazing. I loved how they established in the beginning of the movie that Nawe had parents. It made you betray your own mind, because I know a lot of y'all came to the movie theater like me thinking that that was going to be her daughter. But then when she had parents, it's like, okay, obviously that can be her mom. And then so you put it in the back of your mind and you're just trying to figure out maybe that's just going to be a mentor, and you're watching it and you don't know that that is her mama until it's time for you to know that that is her mama. And you can't even say, like, when she said you're an orphan, that, oh, that's going to be her mom. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. It doesn't count, because 10 seconds later, they reveal that that girl is her mama. Okay, so that does not even count. I loved how they made you betray your own mind. They really tricked us, and bravo, bravo, bravo. Now, Viola Davis. She's already top tier actor, okay? Top tier. But her ability to continue to show us the ferocious force of being a Black woman and how much of a spectrum that is amazing. Like, every time I see her, she's a strong Black woman, but it looks different in every single project that she does. And it really shows us, especially as an African American woman, that my Blackness does not have to only be presented in one way. That I am multidimensional, and that's okay. I loved her in this role. Loved her. I absolutely loved Lashana Lynch, okay? Was easily my favorite character. Easily my favorite character in this, okay? I have never, ever seen somebody die the way I saw Lashana Lynch die, okay? And I've seen death. But the way she died, I felt like in my body that life left me watching her life leave her on the screen. I mean, I had to check my own pulse to make sure I was still here. Like, seeing her die took something from me. And the way Nawe cried, I mean, snot and all, you could tell she was hurt by that. I was hurt too. I was like, yes, snot, me, yes. That beautiful execution, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, that king was kinging, okay? Do you know how much humility it takes, along with self-assurance and who you are as the king, that you have to stand in the face of someone who deliberately disobeyed you, but did it because of something that they believed in, so much so that they were willing to die, that they were willing to be stripped of their rank, that they were willing to face your wrath because they truly believed in it. I would rather have someone like that, who I know respects me, who I know listens to me, who I know cares about the people, be the woman king, than for me to have just been prideful and be like, I'm stripping you of your rank, or to throw you away, or you can no longer be my general, or let's kill her. It took a lot of humility and true kingly nature to be able to say, despite all of that, I still want you by my side. You're still deserving of being the woman king, but don't play with me. I love that. I also really enjoyed how they trained. They trained every single day, multiple times through the day, every single character. I felt that they took it the extra mile. It's one thing to have kind of, a stunt double, but for the main characters to do their own stunts, to be in the fight, I felt like they were really in it. And it just made the difference. It just took the experience to another level. I personally enjoyed seeing Shayna West, the samurai, in this film. She's someone that I follow, so seeing her be a part of such a major movement, especially in the African American community, was absolutely amazing. Definitely deserved to be in this top 10. And the only reason why it is not number one is because number one was so originally amazing. It literally changed the way that I think. It changed my perspective on life, and it had a major impact in the person that I desire to be and how I'm evolving, that it had no choice but to be my number one. So we have arrived at number one. At the top of the chart is none other than Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Okay? This film was a game changer. The editing, the acting, the plot, the everything, everywhere, all at once was amazing, okay? I love this film. Now let me start my review of this film by saying that we do not give Michelle Yeoh her flowers enough. She has given us years on years on years on years of excellent execution in film, and this did not fall short of that. Okay, if don't nobody clap for you, Danielle Champion is gonna clap, okay? Amazing. That film was so good. Oh my gosh. The adventure, the action, the thrill of watching this film, all of the editing and the angles and the attention to detail that was put into every single scene. Every scene. Like if you go back and watch the movie, there will be things that you missed it. You missed it because there's so much attention to detail that you won't even know what you saw until you watch it again. You won't know. It was so good. I love the interwoven concepts around mental health. Obviously, I love everything mental health. I loved how they executed the loneliness that you may feel, especially with those who experience depression or those who feel like they aren't accepted, especially by the people who they want acceptance from the most. I absolutely love that concept of the main character trying to go through all the multiverses, all the verses, all the universes, all the wonderverse, all the verses, and trying to find the mother that understood her. Beautiful, okay? Great execution. I loved how at the end of the movie, the way to kind of get everybody to stop fighting, a new way of approaching this battle that was present in front of her, was to give everybody their deepest desire. And once they got it, it was like, whatever was on them was off of them, okay? Excellent, excellent, excellent film. I really enjoyed that concept of that the multiverse kind of brings of like the what if, like what if it happened this way? What if I was this? What if I did this? What if I did it that way? And no matter how different her life could have been, I would rather work in a laundromat with my family than to experience all the things that I thought that I wanted in life, because they really mean nothing if I don't have you two. If I don't have you in my life, my child, my spouse, if life is meaningless to me without you in it. So yes, I'll take subpar. I'll take being in a laundromat when I could have been an actor. I'll take that because the two of you are more than enough for me. It was a beautiful, beautiful display. Even her husband and how each of those, except the one, but each of those alternate universes, he was there. Even the one where they were together, he was there and still came back to her because he loved her. And it kind of showed her in a way that no matter how my life would have panned out, you would be there. You love me unconditionally. No matter who I could have become, no matter what I could have obtained, you have my back. You are a true ride or die, regardless of how inferior I think that you are to me, just based on your own personality and your mannerisms. I'm sorry for that. Excellent, excellent, excellent film. It'll really make you examine your own personal relationships, ensuring that no matter how much you may disagree with someone's lifestyle or the choices that they make, that does not in any way diminish how much you love them. It was just a great film. I can't even begin to fully dive into how excellent this film was. People have been saying, and I'm one of those people that we haven't had an original thought in film. Like, I'm so bored with film, but this really revived my love for film. It really gave me the zeal and the tenacity. And it honestly is the reason why I even started this channel, because it just reminded me of why I love film. It was such an amazing, amazing, amazing movie. I will be very, very surprised if it does not sweep the Oscars. We've had some great films, they're here in my top 10, but Everything, Everywhere, All at Once have given each of them a serious run for their money. So this year's Oscars is actually going to be, it's going to be something to watch. I'm very excited for it, but this was a great movie. Every layer, every angle, every edit, and I don't say edit lightly, because the capability that you have to be able to execute everything that we saw in this film, mind-blowing. And I really enjoyed the fact that I just saw a movie about the multiverse, so seeing this made it easy for me to learn how to follow. They did great in capitalizing on that. It was just a great film. It was an amazing film. There's not really much more I can say about that. I have no fault with this movie in any way, shape, or form. Not one thing was done wrong. Not one thing I did not like. I was sitting on the edge of my seat for the entire movie, not because it was a suspenseful thriller like who betrayed who died, who's the killer. Like, it wasn't like that. It was just so good that I wanted to be close to the film. Like, if I could have sat in front of the screen like this, even though I couldn't see it, I would have been satisfied, because that's how good the film was. That's how movies should make you feel. And they did that. So that was a great 10 out of 10. All right, that's a wrap. That is my top 10 out of 10 movies that I saw in theaters in 2022. Now, if you think that there is a movie that belongs to my top 10, let me know in the comments and tell me which movie you would take out. I want to know. I want to hear your opinions. Again, if you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in my next video.